No, I sat next to him in block class.
Yeah.
And he used to ask me to cheat off of me.
Everyone has a vision.
But only a few can turn that into reality.
Everyone has a vision.
But only a few can turn that into reality.
That's where we come in.
For us, it starts at the writer's circle.
Ideas are pitched and plans are made.
We then take those plans and apply it to wherever we go.
Whether it's on a court, a stage, or around Carmel, you are in control.
And as for live newscast, the studio is where it's at.
Regardless if it's in the back.
Or under the bright lights. This is where countless professionals jumpstart their careers.
Each and every SRT, we bring you the latest news, sports, and entertainment updates.
Not just at school, but on the go, too.
Although it's listed as a class, CHTV is much more than that. It's an experience.
An experience where you can bring your ideas to life.
An experience where you can meet lifelong friends.
An experience that will change your life forever.
So, what's your vision?
is Ryan Conley. Ryan, tonight we're going to be seeing the 2-0 Lawrence Central Bears take on the 1-1 Carmel Greyhounds. This is going to be a prime matchup, seeing two D1 commits on the Lawrence Central side take on a 1D commit from this Carmel team, Sam Orman. Ryan, who do you think those key players from this Lawrence Central High School team are going to be for tonight's game?
I have two players. My number one is Joshua Mickens. You'll want to watch him tonight. He's a two-sport athlete for these Lawrence Central Bears. He plays football and basketball. He's averaging a double-double with 17 points and 11 rebounds, and will be your starting center for the Lawrence Central Bears.
Yes, and on the other team, Carmel, I think it's going to be a great game for Sam Orman, that D1 commit, averaging 16 points per game, 8 rebounds, shooting 55% from the field, which is a very good stat to have in high school. And another player as well, I feel like, who may be underrated on this team is going to be Jared Bonds, the senior, 6'5". He comes off the bench and normally starts in most of the games that we saw last year, Ryan, but he's more of that six-man role for this team, only getting 5 points per game. Now, Ryan, this is going to be a very defensive game we're going to see out of both teams. We kind of see Joshua Mickens averaging 11 rebounds per game, 1 block, and 2 steals. He's kind of that double two-way player in a way, likes to play that power forward position, also small forward and even center. Do you think he's going to have a good game, or is he going to be shut down a little bit by Sam Orman?
I think it's going to be really hard to shut Joshua Mickens down tonight. Even though Sam is the taller guy, Joshua Mickens is the bigger guy, and is staggering 225 pounds. So he's going to be really hard to stop in that paint and on one-on-one matchups. You might see a lot of double teams on Mickens.
Yeah, and Mickens, we kind of saw him have a breakout game last game that this Lawrence Central High School team played. He kind of leads his team. He's kind of a quiet leader, even though he makes a great impact on the score sheet. I watched a little bit of film earlier, and this Lawrence Central team actually likes to move the ball a lot, get him open shots in the paint, and they take advantage of that very well. And on the other hand, this Carmel team did lose their last game. One interesting fact, Ryan, is this Carmel team got out-rebounded defensively by one player. Carmel only having 13 defensive rebounds last game, while a center on the other team that they played had 15 rebounds by himself. Do you think Carmel's going to focus more on getting their players in the paint and fighting for those boards?
I think they definitely have to if they want to have a chance of winning this game. They're going to have to try their best to out-rebound them.
Yes, Ryan, and 37 seconds until tip-off. This is going to be a very intense game. Ryan, you and I are going to be witnessing great matchups. You and I are going to be sitting here, standing maybe even a little bit, watching the stands fill up. We're going to be seeing competitors on both sides of the ball, offense and defense. And you and I, Ryan, we're going to just have a great night and witness a great game.
Yes, definitely.
Let's see, and we're waiting for countdown, just about to start that national anthem here at the Eric Clark Activity Center, home of the Carmel Greyhounds. Time just buzzed down, and it looks like we are about to start that national anthem. Players lined up on both sides. After the starters were just announced, Ryan, surprisingly to me, Carmel is going to be starting Jared Bonds for tonight's game. A little bit of surprise to the fans here as well. A lot of them agreeing with the call to start Jared, kind of coming off the bench most of the time, but I guess he made a big impact in practices throughout this week and games coming up to this game to put Coach Osborne in that position to start him for this game. And it's going to be Ormond and Mickens taking the tip. Ryan, what are you excited for in this game?
Definitely looking for a lot of scoring and just a fun overall matchup, because we're looking for a team to stay undefeated and a team looking for a win. So you know it's going to be a great matchup.
And it's going to be Ormond and Mickens with the tip, and the tip is going to have control for Lawrence Central. And that's going to be Craig, actually Harris, for Lawrence Central to dribble it up, dribbling over to the left wing. He's going to look for his players to move around. Franklin is going to have the ball for three. It's going to be a break. First rebound for Sam Ormond. Ormond is going to dribble it up the court, getting chased now. Takes it by himself into the basket and off the rim, and he's going to go to the charity line for 2 shots. Ryan, what did you see on there?
Definitely a lot of hustle from Sam, getting that rebound and then driving it up the court by himself for that shot. Great that he got the foul and the free throws.
We normally don't see this Carmel team have one player who dribbles out the entire team and takes it to the rack by himself. So Sam taking it upon himself, knowing that he's the leader of this Carmel team, trying to get the first points on the board is something that he may strive for throughout the rest of his career here at Carmel High School, knowing he is a senior and this is his last year as he misses his first free throw. He lines up to take his second shot here after missing the first one. 2 dribbles, ball is up, and it's off, and it's going to be an over the back foul called on Jared Bonds. First foul for him in this game, and it's going to be a pass in now on the baseline for Lawrence Central. Full court press now by Ryan Clevenger guarding Craig. Craig is going to dribble up the ball, looking for some screens. No one's going to move around. He's going to call a play, and it's going to be a quick switch. Ryan Clevenger back on Craig, giving the ball now over to Russell. Russell's going to feed it back down to Mickens. Mickens has it, gives it up. Bad pass, but it's still going to retain possession for this Lawrence Central team. Mickens takes it by himself. 3 men around him before that ball just went off the backboard. Kudo now for Carmel is going to have the ball. One of those few sophomores on this team. White has it on the wing, and it's up, and it's off. Once again, Bonds with the rebound looking. Kudo has it. Ryan Clevenger back up at the key, gives it over to Ormond. Ormond's going to feed it down to Bonds. Bonds is going to have it on inside the paint, gives it up to Clevenger on the left wing, over to Ormond. Ormond for 3, it's up, and bang, it is good. Ormond being the leader scorer for this Carmel team, scored 3-0 with 6 minutes, 45 seconds left in this first quarter of play. Ryan, what did you see off of that Carmel possession?
It was really good. Sam got his rebound, and you saw Spencer Wright was wide open there, missed the passing opportunity, got to him too late, but still got a 3 anyways.
And we just saw a miss right there by Lawrence Central. Ormond has the ball, dribbling it up past the midline. He takes it over to the right wing. Looks, holds his dribble, gives it over to Bonds. Bonds has it in the corner over to Kudo. Kudo drives in, quick little layup, finger roll, and it's good. And they're calling a foul, and 1 for Carmel. Score 5-0 now, 6 minutes, 15 seconds left in this first quarter of play. Kudo with his first and 1, going to the line for 1 shot. Kudo's going to take the shot, and it's up, and it's good. That gives him 3 points on the game. Score now 6-0. 6 minutes, 14 seconds left in this game. Lawrence Central not used to being down in any games they play. They normally come out very hot in most of their games in the first quarter. Bad pass, but still regain possession for Craig. Craig's going to put it up, and it's going to be a rebound for Kudo. First rebound of the game. Gives it over to Clevenger. Clevenger is going to dribble up past court. Gives it over to Ormond. Ormond is going to take a jab step. Gives it back to Clevenger, back to Kudo on the left wing, into the right corner for Bonds. Bonds is going to hold his possession, guarded by Mickens, that D1 commit, who just recently decommitted from LSU, but still has 31 offers for football out on the table for him, as including Ohio State, LSU, Clemson, and a few other top colleges. Kudo has it now in the corner for 3. It's up off the back rim, and it's going to go out of bounds. Possession is going to be given to Lawrence Central. Ryan, that may be one of the few possessions that we see from Carmel tonight, but it may also be a key factor in this game. Carmel not used to holding possession for about a minute in this game. Do you think they're going to continue to hold possession in this game, or try and get to the basket faster?
I think they're trying to figure out what they want to do here, and I think they need to take a different approach, and maybe holding the ball is going to be a better approach for Carmel.
Absolutely, and we just saw DeJean Craig hit a nice mid-range fadeaway in Ryan Clevenger's face. Ryan Clevenger's going to have the ball now past the midline, gives it over to White. White's going to feed it over to Bonds. Bonds has it on the left wing, guarded by Mickens. Over back to White. White's going to have it at the top of the key, feeds it to Kudo after that and one play that he had 2 possessions ago. Gives it over to Bonds. Bonds is going to have it now, drives in, feeds it over to Clevenger. Clevenger's going to have it at the top of the key, guarded by Mickens. There might be a mismatch in the paint now that Carmel may take advantage of, but Mickens got there back very fast, gives it over to Bonds. Bonds has it for Kudo. Kudo now has it over to Orman. Orman has it to White. White's going to have it on the right wing, back over to Orman. Orman takes a contested three-pointer, and it's good. Sam Orman. Craig's going to have a mishandle right there. Bonds on the drive with the Mickens right over him. He's going to get a nice scoop in layup, and that's going to be Jared Bonds' first 2 points of the game as well. 13-4, 3 minutes left in this first quarter of play. Lawrence Central has the ball. Craig is going to have it at the top of the key, and these Carmel fans booing him. Not something we like to see right away in this game, and it looks like it may be a foul called on. Can't tell who the foul is called. Ryan, did you see what happened on that play?
It looked like Ryan Clevenger and Joshua Mickens made some contact with each other, and both of them fell on top of each other.
Yeah, and we're having fans are coming in steady. We're having a lot of players come in from football to watch this game, watching a lot of players cheer for Joshua Mickens, knowing that he is one of the top players in the state of Indiana. And a lot of fans are here tonight, Ryan. Lawrence Central is going to have the ball. Craig is going to dribble it over to the left wing, gives it up to Franklin. Franklin is going to get double teamed, feeds it over to Mickens. Mickens with a pump fake over Orman, and Mickens is going to have his first 2 points of the game. Clevenger's going to feed over to Orman. Orman's going to give it up to Kudo. Kudo is going to feed it. Bonds down low. Bonds guarded by Mickens, gives it up to Orman. Orman in the corner, feeds it over to Clevenger, back up at the top of the key. White's going to have it now. White's going to give it back up to Clevenger, back over to Bonds on the right wing. Kudo's down low, but he passes that up, gives it up to White. White is going to survey the floor, gives it up to Orman. Orman at the top of the key, back over to White. White is going to try and look for an overhead pass, but he's going to take his dribble, gives it up to Kudo. Kudo is going to have it on the right wing, drives in. 2 men come down with him, gives it back up to Orman at the top of the court, telling Kudo to run down the floor, get some space for Bonds. Bonds is going to feed it back up to Orman. Clevenger is going to lead his team now, calling a play. He's going to send White over to the right corner. It's going to be a foul called on Watts on this Lawrence Central team. He got too deep in there and reached for the cookie jar too much on that. Ryan, that might have been Lawrence Central's best defense we've seen so far in this game with 1:53 left to play. What did you see on that?
Definitely just Lawrence Central's been really good at getting defensive stops, and that's really it. Carmel just needs to figure out how to get open, especially with those 2 bigs in the paint.
Yes, and Kudo is going to give it over to Orman. Orman is going to have it at the top of the key, tries to drive in, gives it up to White. White's going to get into the paint. He's going to take 2 power stops, gives it up to Kudo. Kudo for a corner 3, and it's good. Sinks that one in very easily. Corner shots are very hard to hit in this game, and that's going to be Kudo's 6 points on the game for him. He's one of those strong sophomore players that Carmel's going to have on this team. Mickens is going to give it over to Craig. Craig is going to drive in, feeds it over to Watts. Watts is going to give it back up to Mickens. Mickens is going to have it at the top of the key, and that's going to be Gooden. Gooden is going to give it back over to Watts. Watts is going to give it back up to Mickens at the top of the key, guarded by Bonds. Watts is going to still have the ball, gives it back over to Craig. Craig is going to try and drive in on Ryan Clevenger, but Ryan Clevenger standing his ground here, making Craig back up. Lawrence Central still going to hold the ball here while the clock hits the 1 minute mark. Mickens with a mid-range shot. So that's going to be the third rebound now for Orman. Orman gives it over to White. White's going to pass the midline, go in, drive in, quick spin move, 2 pump fakes, and the ball is going to go off. And a great slam right there by Jared Bonds. We saw him get up for that one. Score now 18-6 with 30 seconds left, and a timeout now called for this Lawrence Central team. Ryan, this game may be already getting out of hand for this Lawrence Central team, already being down by 12. What do you think is happening?
It's definitely just Carmel is having a dominating night, and Jared Bonds back in that starting lineup has changed Carmel's offense a lot. Jared already has 4 points. One of those was a huge dunk that we just saw. It's just amazing to watch Jared back in that starting lineup.
Absolutely. Five minutes left on this timeout. It was called a 1 minute timeout for this Lawrence Central team. 2 fouls for Carmel, 3 for Lawrence Central. Score 18-6, 37.6 seconds left on this first quarter of play. Top scorers for your Carmel team so far have been Sam Orman, who has 6 points. On the other side of the ball, it's going to be, it looks like the top scorer for Lawrence Central is going to be Dejan Craig. Only 4 points on him, with Joshua Mickens adding 2 to lead that team up to 6 points. I don't know what's going to happen, Ryan. I don't know if this Lawrence Central team is going to come out hot in the second quarter after them being down 12. Do you think they're going to have it in them to try and fight back?
I definitely think they can. It's just this Carmel crowd, it feels like it's really getting to their heads and trying to shut them down too.
Absolutely. And I think the change of putting Jared Bonds into the game might have sparked a little fire in this Carmel team, as well as Kudo gets shook off right there from his offender. And Watts is going to feed it back over to Craig. Craig is actually going to have it now. Gives it back over to Harris. Harris is going to feed Mickens, guarded by Owen Huber, who just came into the game, a junior, 6'5". Going to have the responsibility of guarding one of the top commits in Indiana. And it's a great block by Orman. Orman talking a little trash after that block. Ryan score 18-6. Carmel up by 12. Game is getting a little out of hand for this Lawrence Central team. We've seen them take a little risky, gambling it a little bit with some of their shots, taking very contested shots. Do you think that they cannot break this Carmel defense, or is this Carmel defense just having a great chance to actually have that chance to be a great defense in this game?
And Sam Orm received a foul on that play. So it's looking like Lawrence Central will get 2 free throw shots. They called off the cheerleaders so that he could take his free throw shots.
Watts is going to have the ball. They put 0.6 seconds left on the clock after a foul was apparently called on Orman. No block shot. Watts is going to take the shot off the brick, and that's going to be 0 for 1 for him. Score still 18-6, 0.6 seconds left on the clock. And Watts is going to go up for his second shot. Takes a few dribbles. Crowd getting loud here on this Carmel fan side. Takes another shot, in and out. Owen Huber with a long shot. Ooh, almost good. Goes onto the side. Now Ryan. We had a little bit of miscommunication down there with the refs up to where we are, but the first quarter has finally ended. To highlight some players, we did see Alex Kudo hit a nice corner 3, and we also saw him get that and 1 early in this game. He might be a star player that you and I did not highlight earlier. Do you think he's going to continue this excitement and fire that he has in him, or do you think this Lawrence Central team is going to try and shut him down?
I think he's going to continue to have a great game because, as you can see, Lawrence Central's team is double teaming a lot, which leaves one guy open, and that one guy could be him.
Absolutely, and on the other side of the ball, the leading scorer for Lawrence Central is Dejan Craig. 4 points on this game. He's averaging 10 with 4 rebounds and 1 assist, but only shooting 44% from the field. Do you think that number is going to continue to rise, the 44%, or is it going to drop with how good this defense has been from this Carmel team?
I think it could drop because this Carmel defense has been amazing.
Absolutely. And we just saw them call off the cheerleaders, but move them to where they belong on the sideline for this game. Very intense game right now. Alex Kudo out there on the floor. Sam Orman, Owen Huber, Spencer White, and Jake Griffin also came into your game for this Carmel team. On the other side of the ball, and Darion Craig, it's going to be William Watts, Dejon Craig, Joshua Mickens, and Albert Gooden also in the game for your Lawrence Central Bears. Kudo's going to have the ball guarded now by Harris. Kudo's going to drive in with his right, keep up, switch over to his left, pick up his dribble. He's going to look for White. White's going to have it now on the top of the key, gives it down to Orman. It's going to be a bad pass by their first turnover for Carmel. Owen Huber back there, but it's going to be a travel called on Gooden the third. First travel we've seen in this game. 7 minutes, 40 seconds left in the second quarter of play. Score still 18-6. Kudo's going to inbound the ball now. He's going to wait for Orman to dribble up past midline. Orman now going to lead his team on this possession. Orman's going to slow it down a little bit. Nice in and out crossover. Looks for White. White's going to go down. Gives it up to Griffin. Griffin is going to feed it over to Kudo. Kudo is going to drive in. Looks for Griffin once again back on the left wing. Griffin is going to dribble it back out onto the top of the key. Gives it over to Kudo. Kudo's going to give it over to Orman. Orman's going to have it at the top of the key, waiting for his players to move around. Feeds Huber down low. Mickens is going to come off his man. Orman's going to go up, and Orman's going to get another 2 points on the game for him. That's going to be 8 now. And Lawrence Central is going to dribble it up the court. That's going to be Harris. Harris is going to wait for his team to move around. He has 3 guys down low. Mickens guarded by Huber. Orman is guarding Watts. And Lawrence Central is just getting demolished so far. 20-6 with 6 minutes, 44 seconds left to play in this first game. Ryan, this Lawrence Central team has not had one good possession since the 5-minute mark in the first quarter. Do you think they're going to try and pick it up a little bit, or are they going to get frustrated like we just saw down there?
I think they definitely can pick it up, and they just had a chance to pick it up back there when they turned the ball over, when the travel was called. But you can see that they're trying to pick up their offense.
Absolutely, and we just saw Logan Reinhardt check into the game for, for Spencer White. And Orman's going to have it at the top of the key, gives it over to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's going to feed Griffin down low. Griffin with a shimmy and gets a nice little hook shot right there for himself to get him 2 points on the game. Griffin is now going to guard. Looks like that would be Dejon Craig. Dejon Craig is not liked by the Carmel fans here. Everyone booing him anytime he touches the ball. That might get to his head, or it might make him shut up the crowd. And he hits a bank 3 to get the crowd silent. That's something a lot of players like to do anytime the crowd starts to talk. That's finally the first 3 points on the board for this Lawrence Central team in the second quarter. 5 minutes, 54 seconds to play. And Alex Kudo just hit a nice floater to get the crowd back hyped. What did you see after those 2 possessions?
I think the biggest thing was Craig's 3 over number 2, Jake Griffin. And the Carmel, though, is answering back right away, so it's going to be a close game.
Yeah, and we saw that bank 3 earlier on that last possession for Lawrence Central. Sam Orman's going to dribble it up. He has Bonds to his right. Bonds is going to go up for another dunk, and it's good. Jared Bonds with his second slam of the night. We saw him hit that one earlier, but one-handed. This one was two-handed this time. And Griffin is now going to guard Craig. Craig's going to give it over to Harris. Harris is going to feed it back up to Gooden the third. Gooden the third is going to take a hop step, guarded by Logan Reinhardt, who's kind of been a shutdown defender, who shut down a Penn State University D1 commit in their game against Zionsville a few weeks ago. So he's kind of a lockdown defender, only playing 6 minutes so far with 2 games on his belt for this season. And Lawrence Central still going to hold the ball. Craig is going to give it over to Harris. Harris for 3, off the rim, rebounded by Gooden the third. Gooden the third is going to feed it back over to Watts. Watts is going to hold the ball now, waiting for a play to be called, waiting for his players to move around the clock, winding down. Kudo is going to back off of him a little bit. Kudo with a tip, but Harris is going to regain possession and off the brick, and the ball is going to go out of bounds. Looks like Carmel's going to still have possession. A few substitutions for Carmel and Lawrence Central as well, as White's going to have possession. Gives it over to Clevenger. Clevenger is going to try and go up on the sideline. He's going to give it over to White on the right wing. Gives it over to Orman. Orman's going to feed it to Reinhardt. Reinhardt makes his man miss a little bit. Gives it over to Bonds. Bonds is guarded by Mickens. Bonds is going to dribble it out. Gives it up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's going to give it over to Clevenger on the right wing. Back over to Bonds at the top of the key. Thought about a three. Drives in. Gets pushed a little bit, and he's going to go to the line for two. Do you think he flopped on that play, or do you think he actually got pushed, Ryan?
It looked like he actually got pushed, but it could have been a flop for Jared.
It could have been, but I think the foul was called on Josh Mickens, and like you said earlier, he gets in foul trouble a little bit, already picking up his second foul with 3 minutes, 55 seconds left to play in the second quarter of play, and he averages 4 on the season. So if Carmel gets him into foul trouble, that might be an advantage for them to extend the lead that they have right now, 27-9, with 3 minutes, 56 seconds left to play. Score now 9-28, Carmel up. And it's going to be Craig for Lawrence Central, dribbling it up past the midline, gives it over to Franklin. Franklin takes a jab step on Reinhardt, feeds it back over to Russell. Russell's going to give it back up to Craig. Craig's going to give it over to Mickens. Mickens is going to try and go in on the right wing, gives it back over to Puckett. Puckett's going to give it over to John, and John's going to hit a nice three. It's going to be 28-12 now for this Carmel team, up by 16 points. We saw them have a 16-point lead before they even came into this second quarter of play. Orman's going to have the ball, gives it up to White. White's going to take it from the top of the key, try and drive in, feeds it up to Orman. Orman with a nice back layup off the backboard. Orman being the leading scorer for this Carmel team with 10, and Jared Bonds being right behind him with 8. Lawrence Central now is going to give it up to Russell. Russell's going to have it at the top of the key. Thinks about a pass. Gives it up to Puckett. Puckett is going to give it back to Franklin. Franklin's going to have it picked, set by Mickens. Mickens looking for the ball in the paint. Trapped in the corner now. Back out to Puckett. Puckett's going to feed it over to Gooden. Gooden is going to have it at the top of the key. Feeds it down low now to Mickens. Mickens with a quick hook shot, and it's good. Score now 30-14. 16-point lead still for this Carmel team. White is going to have the ball now for this Carmel team. Ryan, Lawrence Central is now waking up. We saw them become a little slow in the first quarter, but 8 points now in the second quarter. They're picking up. Like you said, do you think they have it in them to keep it up?
I definitely think they do, but Carmel's also doing a really good job of scoring here. And I don't know if they can ever outscore Carmel enough to catch up.
That's what I'm thinking too, Ryan. And as we see Joshua Mickens being an asset on that defensive side as well. He's kind of a monster there too, because he's getting 2 blocks a game and 1 steal, and he just got another steal right there. Foul called on Logan Reinhardt. It's going to be a push, and it looks like Carmel may be calling a timeout here, and they are calling a timeout. Ryan, Carmel calling their first timeout. They might have seen something, maybe a little frustrated, because their scoring for this quarter has not been as well as we saw them earlier in this game. Second quarter play, 2 minutes and 5 seconds, 30-14. I think this Lawrence Central team has woken up a little bit.
They definitely have woken up, excuse me. But I think, like I said, Carmel's going to outscore them too well to let them catch up. And I saw on the sideline, looks like Cooper Inskeep is coming in. Cooper brings a lot of energy, and he might increase that energy that these Carmel boys have for the last 2 minutes.
Yes, and another stat I want to highlight is this Lawrence Central team so far has been averaging 65 points a game, and they only have 14 in the second quarter. And to highlight another stat, last time these two teams played, the score was 72-43. Carmel winning big time against this Lawrence Central team, and I do believe that the score may get a little higher than what it was, than 72 for Carmel. I think they're on pace right now to maybe hit that 70-point mark. I think they may even get closer to that 80-point mark if they continue to have this much energy that they have in this game so far.
Yes, you're right. They're already on pace, and this Carmel team has a lot of energy. I love seeing that connection between Sam and Jared.
You're right, that connection between Sam and Jared Bonds, Sam Orman and Jared Bonds, both seniors on this team, both leaders as well. That connection is unbreakable for Carmel to have. Both seniors, both captains on this team as well, like to take the underclassmen under their wing and try and teach them a little bit throughout the season, as Lawrence Central just gave away that possession. Bad pass by Mickens, could not be held on by Craig, and the ball is going to now be given for an inbound pass to Clevenger. Clevenger is going to have it, directing his team, telling Orman, get to my left so I can give you the ball right away. Orman is calling up Inskeep. Inskeep played in the JV game earlier, coming into this game to try and get more points, get more experience so he could try and be that big leader for that JV team as well. Orman is going to have it at the top of the left wing, drives in, and goes up with a nice scoop and score for him. He's that leading scorer on the team, 12 points for him in this game. 32-14, 1 minute, 24 seconds to play in the second quarter of play. This Lawrence Central team is just trying to get a little bit of more points on the scoreboard, try and cut the lead that Carmel has set in this game, and it's going to be a big three-point right there off the rim. Jared Bonds with the rebound. Bonds is going to give it over to Clevenger. Clevenger is going to have it on the right wing, back up to Bonds. Bonds has it at the top of the key. Gives it to Orman. White's going to have it on the bottom. Gives it up to Bonds. Bonds for three. We don't see that very often, but off the clock. And it's just going to be out of bounds off after that, and it's going to be a quick pass in now for this Lawrence Central team. Craig is going to have it guarded by White. Craig is going to dribble it up past the midline, and he's going to look for his team. He's going to give it over to Franklin. Franklin is going to have the ball guarded by Inskeep, who just came into the game about a minute ago. Mickens is going to take a mid-range shot. We don't see that very often since he's not much of a shooter. But off the back rim, and Orman is going to drive in for another scoop and score, and it's good. Sam Orman with 14 points in this game, 34-14, 24 seconds left in this game. Lawrence Central may hold it for a last-second shot, telling him that's going to be Craig, telling his players, I'm going to call a little bit of an isolation. Give me Spencer White on my own, and I will try and take it. But he gives it up to Puckett. Puckett is going to give it back over to Craig. Craig still guarded by Spencer White with 5, 4, 3. Craig with a baseline jumper, and it's off. And that's another rebound for Sam Orman. That's going to be his 5th for the game. Going into halftime, Ryan, score 34-14. We've seen a lot of action so far in this game. Who could you highlight from the Lawrence Central team, even though they did not get that many points up in 2 quarters?
I have to highlight DeJohn Craig. He's been looking amazing, and he's been getting booed, which means you know he's playing great at this Carmel Stadium.
Absolutely. The Eric Clark Activity Center does not hold anything back. And on the other side of the ball, I feel like we have to highlight 2 players for Carmel. Alex Scudo, as a sophomore, starts, and we see him come in, get a bunch of corner threes, and we just see him hit as many shots as he can. And also Sam Orman. He's on pace to have 28 points, close to 30 points in this game. Do you think he could hit it?
I definitely think he can, and I've seen some big games here at Eric Clark Activity Center, so I feel like it's going to be a big game tonight for Sam Orman.
Absolutely, and on that note, Ryan, we're going to send it down to our halftime show. It looks like a little bit of half-court shooting.
Greyhounds first takeoff title, the first is 2013. Junior Claire Swampwood was shot at 155 in 2 days of pitch, tied for 6th place individually with Carmel. The Greyhounds also got top 10 showing for sophomore Sophie Mock, who was 156, tied for 10. Other Greyhound scorers were junior Michaela Henley, who tied for 12 at 157, while junior Taylor Williams and senior Hannah Wynn tied for 28 and 165. Congratulations to our state champion girls golf team.
Hello and welcome back to the Eric Clark Activity Center after a great halftime. Ryan, the score is 34-14. Carmel up by 20. 20 seconds left before halftime is over. This Lawrence Central team is going to need to pick it up. What do you think the key factors are that they focused on in their halftime?
Definitely not doing dumb turnovers like we saw earlier. And I think the next biggest thing is they're shooting on a different basket. They're not shooting on the Carmel side. They're shooting on their side. So they might feel like they have a better chance of scoring in this half.
Absolutely, and like you said, we're going to be switching sides. Carmel now shooting on the Carmel side, on their fan side. Fans are going to be cheering them on louder and louder every time a bucket goes in. And for the other side, this Lawrence Central team, not a lot of fans came out tonight in this Carmel arena, but that does not change one thing. It is a game of basketball with 8 minutes left for this third quarter of play to start. We have Ryan Clevenger, Alex Kudo, Spencer White, Sam Orman, and Jared Ballons out on the floor for your Carmel Greyhounds. On the other side, it's going to be Dejon Craig, William Watts, Jake Franklin, and of course, it's going to be Josh Mickens and also Doron Harris for your Lawrence Central High School Bears. And it's going to be Craig who's going to feed to Mickens. Mickens back over to Craig. Craig with a quick three, and it's going to be a brick. And Bonds is going to come down, gives it up to Clevenger. Clevenger's going to go past midline, do a nice in and out, switch over to his right hand, to his left, gives it up to Kudo. Kudo dribbles with his left, feeds Bonds down in. Bonds is going to be guarded by Mickens, taking that to his advantage. He's going to be strong up, gives it up to White. White's going to have it in the corner, feeds it over to Orman on the top left wing by Coach Osborne, the coach of this Carmel team. And the ball's going to go back over to Orman. Orman, after feeding it over to White, White's now going to give it up to Orman. Orman's going to give it over to Bonds. Bonds is going to drive in, feed Kudo. Kudo for his third three of the game, and it's going to be off. He's 2 for 3 from three-pointers in this game, and it's going to be strong defense. No defense back, and Lawrence Central had the numbers. They get the first 2 points of the second half up and good.
And wow, Harris with an amazing shot left wide open. That's a weak side of the Carmel defense. They don't get back quick enough.
Absolutely, Ryan, and that's something that this Lawrence Central team may take advantage to them for the rest of the game, but they are not able to stop that mismatch that Sam Orman is having in the paint. They're putting someone who's not as strong as anyone as Sam Orman is under the paint with him. Took that to his advantage, and he got a nice hook shot to put him up to 16 points in this game, scored 36-16. Lawrence Central has the ball, feeds Mickens down low. Mickens is going to lose the ball. Orman is going to dribble it up court. It's Bonds to his left, and he's going to go between the legs, and it's going to be a kick ball called on Watts. Watts is going to get a kick ball called on him, and it's just going to be a nice inbound pass for this Carmel team. Ryan Clevenger telling Orman to take it. Orman is going to have it on the baseline.
And we saw one really bad turnover. I mean, Josh Mickens could have easily scored that because he's a big body.
And Spencer White hit a nice three after that inbound pass. It's going to be 39-16 with 6 minutes left to play in this third period of play. Lawrence Central is going to have the ball, gives it up to Watts. Watts is going to have it on the right wing, gives it up to Mickens. Mickens has it at the top of the key. Bonds, knowing that he can't shoot, backs off of him. Ryan Clevenger guarding Jake Franklin. Is going to be a tip pass once again. Alex Kudo has the ball, has Ryan Clevenger to his right. Clevenger is going to have it, gives it up to Bonds. Bonds up again, and it's going to be a nice dish for Ryan Clevenger. And Jared Bonds is going to have 10 points in this game after being that sixth man for the past 2 games, coming off to start, and he's making an impact, Ryan. I think Coach Osborne might stick to starting him throughout the rest of the season.
He definitely will after this game. Already in double digits, 2 double-digit starters in Sam, Orm, and Jared Bonds.
Absolutely, and Spencer White for 3 again. It's going to be off the rim. Mickens is going to give it over to John. John is actually going to give it up to Watts. Watts for 3. Wing 3, and it's going to be off. Bonds with the rebound. Bonds has 3 rebounds, 10 points, and 1 assist in this game. Ryan Clevenger is going to give it over to Orman. Orman being 6'9", frame, kind of skinny, but he's been using that to his advantage lately in this game. We've seen him hit a lot of hook shots. Kudo's going to have it now at the midline, gives it up to White. White's going to give it over to Bonds in the left corner. Feeds Orman down low. Orman's going to have the ball. Posts up, another hook shot, and it's good. Orman is going to have 18 points in this game, score 43-16, Ryan. This Lawrence Central team may this game may be out of hand for them. Do you think so?
Definitely. 30 points behind, 8 minutes to go. And just a reminder, there is no shot clock in high school basketball. That's why they can hold the ball for a minute. And Carmel can just do that for a while because I've seen it in other games before. So this game is looking like it's going to get out of hand.
You're right, Ryan, and this Carmel team is going to need to continue to keep that energy up in this game if they want to have a chance to kind of blow out this Lawrence Central team, because most recently Lawrence Central was kind of a quiet team. No one really expected them to be 2-0 on the season after being 6-17 last season. This Carmel team may be taking that to advantage, knowing that this Lawrence Central team is not as experienced as this Carmel team is, saying we have more seniors on our team than you do. Even though there's a height difference, our short players are able to get around your tall players since they may be a little quicker. That is the advantage of being a little shorter. You're a little quicker. You can get around these players, and those taller players are a little slow. Do you think, Ryan, this Carmel team is kind of using that right now for them to – they're using Alex Scudo and Radden Clevenger to try and get the ball down low and use their shortness to feed their taller players?
Definitely. We've seen a lot of points in the paint, which is a great way to score for Carmel. And it's kind of been Lawrence Central's weakness this whole entire game.
Yeah, and Joshua Mickens is going to have it down low for this Lawrence Central team, and it's going to be off, rebounded by Harris. Harris is going to try drive back in, gives it over to Gooden. Gooden is going to give it back to Harris. Harris is going to give it over to Craig. Craig is going to feed Mickens. Mickens using a strong body, guarded by Bonds, and White came down to help him as well. Ryan Clevenger with the rebound, guarded now by Gooden. Ryan Clevenger passes midcourt, goes up, and gets a nice finger roll layup for him. That's going to be, it looks like that he's going to have 4 points now in this game. He's kind of a quiet player right now, but he's kind of picking up recently, having an assist earlier in this quarter, and also a nice easy layup bucket for him. Now, it's going to be Harris is going to have the ball.
And we saw that quickness on that play. Braylon Russell is 4 inches taller than Ryan Clevenger and just got past him easily.
Ryan Clevenger now is going to have the ball for this Carmel team, trying dribbling it up past that half-court line. This Lawrence Central team is going to have a full-court press now. We did not see them do that earlier in this game. They might have just talked about that during their halftime, and it's going to be a foul now called on it. Looks like that's going to be Russell from this Lawrence Central team. It's going to be his first foul, and it looks like Owen Huber is about to check into this game. Bonds is going to come out, and Huber is going to come in.
And that's Mickens who committed the foul, up to 3 already, so he's about to reach that average of 4 per game.
You're right, 3 fouls, 4 is what he averages, and if you get 5 in one game of basketball, you're out, and that might be something that Carmel's looking at, trying to draw more fouls, and especially on Mickens. That's why they may have put Owen Huber into the game. He's kind of a draw foul machine. Orman with the shot for 3, and it's good. Sam Orman now has 21 points in this game. It's kind of almost a career high for him. He's getting close to that mark, so we will see if he can hit it soon in this game.
And 21 has been a lot of points. Sam already has, I believe it's 3 threes, and all of the other baskets have been 2s. But Sam's just looked amazing this game.
Absolutely. Sam Orman is 6 for 8 on this game. Most of his shots have been 3-pointers as he drives down, takes it once again by himself, and that's just going to be a missed shot by him. Spencer White with the rebound. He's going to feed it over to Clevenger. Clevenger back down to Kudo. Kudo's going to feed it over to Huber. Huber, miscommunication there by Spencer White. Spencer White holding his head down. Owen Huber telling him, hey, that's on me. That won't happen once again.
And Spencer White missed that pass, but that's number 3, Craig, bringing up the ball.
Craig is going to give it over to Harris. Harris is going to give it up to Russell. Russell's going to give it back over to Craig. Craig's going to give it over to Harris. Fed down. Great pass right there to Mickens. Mickens is going to get some more points on the board. 6 points for him. He's averaging over. We see him average above 17 in this game, but being held to 6 is something he's not used to. The fouls, though, is something he's used to, having 3 fouls in this game. Clevenger's going to have it at the top of the key, dribbling it around. Great defense there by Harris for this Lawrence Central team, trying to get on top of Ryan Clevenger, and it's going to be a foul called on Harris. Ryan Clevenger holding up his hand, saying he did not do anything. The refs calling a big foul on Harris, getting booed from this Carmel side now.
And that's a real big foul by Harris. I don't think you're allowed to do that, especially that aggressively. You saw him right after he got the ball get up and then try and dive back on top.
You're right, and Ryan Clevenger having nothing of it at all, just getting up right away, holding his head high, saying he kind of backed off a big guy off of him, and that was Darion Harris. He's a freshman, actually, starting for this varsity game. He's 6 foot, 150 pounds. He did not play in the first game for this Lawrence Central team, so he was not much of a factor. So for him to get more experience, especially trying to guard Ryan Clevenger, who's a junior, who's played in more varsity games than him, may be an advantage Ryan is going to take for himself. Carmel's going to drive in, and it's going to be Sam Orman is going to be called for the moving screen. He tried to set on Harris.
And Carmel's still up 48-21, 1:40 left to go in this third quarter.
And it's going to be a substitution for Ryan Clevenger. Coach Osborne going to check in on him after he was out on the court diving for the ball, and he puts in Alex Kudo, number 3. Kudo's going to have the responsibility of guarding Darion Harris. And a quick three-pointer for Lawrence Central. It's going to be off the back rim. Great block by Sam Orman, his second of the game. Gives it up to White. White is going to give it over to Kudo. Kudo is going to be the point guard for this possession. Gives it up to White once again. White's going to have it on the right wing. Gives it up to Kudo. Kudo's going to drive in. Gives it up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's going to try and drive in. 1 minute, 14 seconds left in this game. Huber has an open shot, but he's not going to take it. Gives it up to White. White's going to hold it on the left wing, getting guarded. Gives it up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt gives it up to Kudo. Kudo has a wide open lane, but he's going to try and dribble it back out onto the three-point line. Gives it up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's going to feed White. White's going to have it now on the left wing, back up to the top of the key. That's going to be Kudo. Kudo's going to give it up to Reinhardt. Sam Orman with a great cup. Sam Orman drives down, and it's going to be a missed layup. He has 21 points in this game, trying to add up to that total. And Owen Huber with the closeout on Gooden. Gooden with a quick three off the back rim, and White with the rebound.
Carmel's really made a move on those rebounds like we mentioned that they were going to have to do. I don't know exactly how many rebounds they have, but it's been a lot, and they've been very aggressive.
Carmel is coming up on their 24th rebound. That's what they just grabbed in this game. After last game, only grabbing 13 rebounds and also being out-rebounded last game by one player who grabbed 15 rebounds by himself. Carmel may have focused more on grabbing rebounds. There's an easy little trick to do that in this game of basketball. Just throw the ball off the glass by one player and another player grabs it and rebounds it, and it's just more of a train action like that. And it was going to be out of bounds on Carmel. It's going to be a quick pass in now for this Lawrence Central team, who's down 48-21 with 7 seconds left to go. Carmel now trying to do a little bit of press, and it's going to be Craig with a quick jump shot, and it's going to be called a foul now on Spencer White. It looks like Craig is going to go to the line for 3 shots.
You now want to give up three free throws, because you know that he has a good chance of making all 3 of these and getting up 3 points. 1 second to go in this third quarter.
Yeah, and it looks like Dejon Craig is actually 50% from the free throw line. After just hitting 1, he has 11 points now in this game, half of what Lawrence Central's total is of 22. He's going to go for his second shot, and it's off. That's what that 50% is. He can make one, but he may miss the next one. He's going to go up now for his third shot. 1.1 seconds left on the clock, and his third shot is up, and it's good. He went 2 for 3 from the line. Lawrence Central is going to try and close out this Carmel team. Alex Kudo with the inbound, and that's going to be the end of the third quarter, 48-23. And so far, leading scorer Sam Orman for this Carmel team, 21 points. This is kind of a big breakout game for him. He's kind of leading this Carmel team, having 21 of the 48 points, while on the other side, that's going to be Dejon Craig, who has 12 of the 23 points for this Lawrence Central team. Ryan, do you think that this Lawrence Central team is going to continue to rely on Dejon Craig, or are they going to try and feed Mickens more in the paint?
Well, I feel like they're going to rely more on Craig, because we've seen Mickens get in the paint, and he either turns the ball over or scores points, but most of the time it's turning the ball over. So I think you have to rely on Craig to get some sort of open shot, but it's so far it's looking like Carmel domination.
Absolutely.
And Carmel, going into this fourth quarter, they are up 48-23 with 8 minutes to go in this game. And we'll see if Carmel can run up the score.
Absolutely, Ryan. 48-23, like you just mentioned. Last quarter of play, 8 minutes in. This final quarter of play, score fouls in this game. So far, a lot of fouls have been committed by this Lawrence Central team. We've seen them kind of fight for the ball, play a little bit of rough ball, a little bit of old school basketball, try and get into the paint. Not that many shots. That's kind of how Sam Orman plays. And Ryan, if I could compare Sam Orman to any NBA player, I would kind of compare him to a little bit of a Cody Zeller. He's not that athletic, but he likes to use his body in the paint, and he uses it correctly. He likes to drive in and get his buckets where he can. He really relies on that hook shot near the bucket, and that goes in almost 100% of the time for him. And Orman's going to have the ball, gives up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's going to feed Griffin. Griffin is going to be guarded now by Gooden. It's going to be a travel called on Griffin. He just came into the game after only playing 3 minutes earlier in this game.
And what's been interesting is seeing Carmel's defense on transitions, because they don't go on the other side of the ball.
It's going to be Gooden for this Lawrence Central team to have it on the right wing. He's going to try and feed it up to Mickens. Mickens using athleticness to grab that, but he's going to miss a wide open shot. He tried to bank it off the backboard, but Orman for this Carmel team is going to try and drive him into the paint. Feeds it up to Huber. Huber's going to give it over to Kudo. Kudo is going to give it back up to Reinhardt. Kudo is going to regain possession for this Carmel team. Has it on the left wing, back over to Griffin. Griffin behind the back on Mickens, tries to drive in, gives it up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's going to have it in the corner towards the right wing. Gives it up to Kudo on the left wing, gives it over to Griffin, who looks for Huber, but he's going to give it up to Orman on the left wing. Huber wide open in that mid-range area towards the left wing and the left corner near that Carmel bench. Gives it up to Griffin. Griffin is going to have it, thinks for a shot, but he drives in. Orman is wide open after he made his man fall. Huber with points, and it's going to be an and one for Owen Huber. He's going to go to the line for one.
And Huber getting those tough points and that tough foul for the and one. We'll see if he makes it here. That'll send the score up, or should send the score up to 51-23. Carmel's more than doubling the amount of points that these Bears have tonight.
Absolutely, 50-23, 6 minutes and 50 seconds left to play in this final quarter of play. Game is slipping out of the Lawrence Central hands. Fingertips, everything that you can hold this game onto is slipping out right now from them. And it's gonna be Watts for this Lawrence Central team to bring up the ball. Mickens to the right. He's gonna give it up to Gooden. Gooden gonna be guarded now by White. Now guarded by Huber. Huber's gonna drop back down low to guard Mickens. Mickens is gonna have the ball for this Lawrence Central team. And it's gonna be a foul called on. It looks like foul called on Huber. A little too much body forcing Mickens out of bounds, but foul called on him. That's gonna be his second foul of the game.
So Lawrence Central will get the ball again. Huber's played some tough defense.
Absolutely, Huber shutting down a D1 athlete like Josh Mickens is, and it's going to be a quick floater for Jake Franklin. He's going to hit the floater and go to the line for one. We've seen them use more and more drawing foul techniques in this game. They've drawn 4 fouls so far in the second half of play, and they're getting to the line to convert on those and ones. Jake Franklin takes a deep breath before he takes the shot, dribbles it 3 times, rolls it on his fingertips. He puts the shot up, and it's good. Score now 51-26. Jake Franklin hits 3 points on that play after getting the and one. Carmel's going to have to break this full court press that this Lawrence Central team is going to put on them. Ball's going to go out of bounds, regain possession for Carmel. Reinhardt's going to have it now past the midline. Spencer White to his right, and he's going to give it up to Kudo, who was to his left. Kudo feeds Huber down low, over to White. Back over to Kudo with the numbers for Carmel. 4 guys. Logan Reinhardt for 3, corner 3, and it's good. Logan Reinhardt with his first 3 points of the game. Quick, easy shot, and looks like right after that, Jake Franklin took it upon himself to draw the foul once again. He's going to the line for 2 shots.
And you saw it on replay there. That was an amazing 3 by Logan Reinhardt, and it got that Carmel bench fired up. In these last 5 minutes and 52 seconds left in the game, Carmel leading 54-26.
Absolutely, and it's going to be Jake Franklin to go to the line after he was just at the line the last possession they had, and he's going to miss the last one. Jake Franklin actually has not taken any free throws till this game, Ryan. That's surprising because we're seeing him be a very aggressive player and drawing fouls very easily. And
Carmel already has 5 total fouls with Jake Griffin having 2 of those.
Absolutely. And it's going to be Jake Franklin once again to take a second shot. And it's going to be off. Score 54 to 26. 5 minutes, 48 seconds left to play in this fourth quarter of play. Kudo's going to give the ball over to White. White's going to give Reinhardt for another 3. It's up, and it's good. Logan Reinhardt hits another 3-pointer. After coming into this game, he has 6 points now. He's kind of been a spark for this Carmel team after the game's already out of hands for this Lawrence Central team. He's just running up the score, don't you think, Ryan?
Definitely back-to-back 3s for Logan Reinhardt. And he got that bench right up. You saw Cooper being like, good job, buddy.
Absolutely. William Watts for 3, and it's good. Silence the crowd a little bit for this Carmel team. No one anywhere cheered for him except for the fans that were here for this Lawrence Central team. Kudo on the inbound, looks for White. He's going to get double team. White has it, gives it up to Griffin. Griffin takes it by himself, and that was a great block right there by Joshua Mickens. That D1 athlete, we saw him use great athleticism there to get up, maybe jumped close to 40 inches in the air to block that shot. Spencer White is coming out, and they're putting in Mitchell Moley, brother, who's a Butler commit. Plays at Butler, John Michael Moley. He led this Carmel team to a state championship by himself and other players around him. Owen Huber is going to have the ball now, gives it up to Moley. Moley's going to pick up his dribble, feeds Kudo. Kudo's going to give it up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's going to take it away and into the paint. And it's going to be a little bit of a push called on Jake Franklin. We've seen him average 3 fouls per game and 2 turnovers. He's been very silent on turnovers, but fouls, he's kind of racking up the fouls in this game too so far with only 3 points. And it's going to be Alex Kudo to inbound the ball for this Carmel team. Mitchell Moley to his right, and Owen Huber is going to push off a little bit on Mickens. Gives it up to Griffin. Griffin is going to have it at the top of the key. Feeds Reinhardt. Reinhardt's going to take his dribble, gives it up to Huber. Huber with a little bit of butterfingers there. Regains possession, and a timeout called by Coach Osborne. Ryan, this Carmel team kind of running up the score a little bit with 4 minutes, 27 seconds left in this game. What do you see out there on the court?
I see a lot of Carmel domination. Those back-to-back 3s really hurt the Bears, but just Carmel's looking amazing. They're getting wide open shots. They're all going in, and Lawrence Central is guarding them well on a full court press, but Carmel knows how to get past it. And once Carmel gets past it, they have a pretty wide open route to the lane.
You're right. This Carmel team taking advantage of driving into the paint. We saw it earlier with Sam Orman, who has 21 points in this game. He normally drives into the paint, and we've seen him use the backboard a lot on his shots for his layups and not really relying much on the outside perimeter shot. But when he does, he's 3 for 4 from the three-pointer. We've seen him take some great shots when he's wide open, and he knocks those down. Those are the shots that this Carmel team needs. If they did not have him playing, this game would be a lot closer than the blowout that it is right now, and Mitchell Moley's going to be on it for the inbound. He's going to give a deep pass, almost a football pass to Alex Kudo. Alex Kudo directing the traffic here, dribbling it up, guarded now by Dejon Craig. And it's going to be Jake Griffin drives in, and a little bit of a charge not called there, but Joshua Mickens for this Lawrence Central team has the ball, picks up his dribble. He's going to feed Jake Franklin once again. Jake Franklin is going to have the ball. We've seen him been a very active player in this fourth quarter of play, being very aggressive, but it may be a little too late. And that's going to be Dejon Craig with the 3, and it's good. Score now 57-32. This Lawrence Central team may have woken up a little bit, only 15 points down, and they're getting up. And it's going to be a pass right there from Logan Reinhardt. Ball was tipped, and it's going to go out of bounds. Carmel's going to still have possession.
And Lawrence Central's comeback might be a little too late, but 3 minutes to go. Carmel can really work the clock here, and they don't have to score very often or very much to win this game. And that's Logan Reinhardt for 3.
Logan Reinhardt is 3 for 4 from the three-point line. We've seen him hit great shots in the fourth quarter. He has 9 points now in this game, kind of being a silent character to the massive amount of points that this Carmel team has scored. Alex Kudo with the rebound for Carmel after a quick possession from Lawrence Central. Gives it up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's open. Thought about the 3. Once again, everyone here was standing up on their feet, wanting him to shoot it. And Malloy is going to have it, surveying the court, bounce passes it to Kudo. Kudo's going to drive in, quick float off the back, and that's Alex Kudo with another point. That's going to be 10 points for him, double digits. So that's going to be 3 players now for this Carmel team in double digits.
And Carmel's playing some shutdown D and that's number 3, the John Craig miss. And that's Alex Kudo with the rebound.
Alex Kudo directing traffic once again. Cooper Inskeep over there on the sideline, as well as Darion Harris for both teams, looking to come in, waiting for the next dead ball before they can substitute in. Kudo's going to have it on the left wing, trying to direct traffic once again. Closely guarded still. Nice in and out, gives it up to Malloy. Malloy is going to feed Logan Reinhardt. All these fans want him to hit another 3, and he's open, but no one's going to feed him. Alex Kudo is going to have it on the right wing, tries to drive in, takes it upon himself to back it up a little bit. Feeds it up to Reinhardt. Reinhardt closely guarded once again. Jake Griffin for 3, and it's up off the back rim and rebounded by William Watts. William Watts is going to try and drive in off the paint, and it's going to be feeded up to Gooden. Gooden is going to hit a nice, easy off the backboard layup. 62-34, 1 minute, 57 seconds left on the clock, and it's going to be a timeout by Lawrence Central. Ryan, Lawrence Central, they kind of woke up in the second half, but it may be a little too late. Where do you think they found this energy?
Well, I think it's just with their defense and how they've been doing a lot of full court pressing, and I don't really know exactly where they found the energy, but it is coming a little too late for the Lawrence Central Bears, while Carmel just gets to continue to dominate all over them.
Absolutely, and a 1 minute timeout called by Lawrence Central. Carmel cheerleaders out there doing their dances. We have Cottrell Williams out there cleaning up a little bit, using his mop to make the floor a little less slick. And it looks like Lawrence Central is going to be putting in some more of their subs. We just saw Bryson Luter check in at the desk up there with the refs and all the people keeping score. We also have the Carmel radio here. That's going to be Evan Stowell and Everett Carlisle on the call for WHJE 91.3. Score still 62-34 with 1 minute 57 seconds left on the clock. Sam Orman, the leading scorer for Carmel, 21. He has not seen a lot of action so far since it's been mostly a blowout, almost 30-point blowout, 28 points so far. Ryan, Sam Orman, he's a guy. We've seen him be a beast down in the paint, using his body, using the height that he has, knowing that that's an advantage in this game. But Coach Osborne saving him for later games down the road. Is that a smart decision?
Definitely, because we saw earlier this season, or before the season started, his foot was a little injured. He was wearing a boot. Obviously, the boot's off now, but it's definitely a good idea to rest your studs.
Absolutely, but we still see Alex Kudo in the game. Cooper Inskeep checked in as well. Mitchell Malloy down there, Logan Reinhardt, and Owen Huber, all for your Carmel Greyhounds. Lawrence Central checked in a few new players as well. Like I said, Bryson Luter came into the game for this Lawrence Central team. He may make an impact. He is only a junior. He averages 9 points per game, 3 rebounds, and 3 assists. He was 100% from the field a few days ago. So far, he's kind of a main player for this Lawrence Central team. He has not really played much in this game. Their coach just deciding to put him in now with about 2 minutes left to go in this final quarter of play. Game basically goes to Carmel after their loss earlier this week on Tuesday. So this Carmel team is going to go to 2-1, while this Lawrence Central team is going to now go to 2-1 as well on the season. So both teams tied. Very competitive play in this 4A division as Cooper Inskeep steal right there, but it's going to be stepped out of bounds. The ball's still going to be in possession of Carmel, but Darion Harris stepped out of bounds, that freshman who's been starting in this varsity game.
And it's amazing to see a 6-foot freshman start for this team. He's been playing super well, and I'm excited to see the potential of Lawrence Central, because even though this team is losing, they look like a super good team.
Absolutely. Kudo is going to have the ball. Surveys the court, drives in, gives it up to Huber, who's going to give it over to Reinhardt. Reinhardt's going to feed Kudo once again. Inskeep is going to have it on the left wing. Screen set by Malloy. Malloy is going to look for Reinhardt open now, guarded just by Luter. Luter's going to try and back off a little bit. Kudo's going to have the ball now on the right wing. May dribble out this final minute for this Carmel team. They may just be passing it. That may be the goal. It's going to be double dribble now on Mitchell Malloy.
And 49 seconds left to go. So this is a Carmel win. And Carmel's almost doubled the amount of points that the Bears have scored.
Absolutely, 64-34, almost 30 points up, 28 for this lead for Carmel, kind of shutting down a powerhouse scoring team for this Lawrence Central team. And that ball just went off the backboard, top left corner, and it was a quick rebound from Mitchell Malloy. Logan Reinhardt's going to take the ball across the midline. 30 seconds left to go. Carmel fans may be clapping a little bit, knowing that this game is theirs. We see a few fans leaving the court before traffic picks up here at the Eric Clark Activity Center. Alex Kudo is just going to dribble the ball around, waiting. Gives it up to Cooper Inskeep. Cooper Inskeep has not played much in this game, but when he has, he's kind of that small leader on that team. He makes a great impact, and we've seen him make a great impact in this game. Malloy is just going to hold the ball for the final seconds as fans clapping. He was talking to the ref, thinking about taking a three, but that is the game for Carmel. Ryan. Great game for Carmel, 34-62, shutting down this Lawrence Central team after they came off of a 2 wins before this game even started, now going to 2-1, and Carmel finally going up to 2-1 as well. If you could highlight a few players from this Carmel team, who would you highlight?
Well, my favorites watching tonight was by far Sam Orm, 21 total points, and Jared Bonds. They just had a great connection. Awesome to watch, and it was just amazing to see them step up on rebounds as the leaders and seniors on this team.
You're right, and rebounds was a main thing that they may have focused on in their practice over the week, as they were out-rebounded last game, only having 13 defensive rebounds. In total this game, they had 31 rebounds, which is a big stat. That number basically flipped from last game. And assist-wise, we did see them pass the ball a little bit, but we saw Sam Orm kind of lead the team by himself, having 21 points, shooting very efficiently from the field, shooting above that 60% line, which is something you like to see out of players. But on the other side, I'm very disappointed in Joshua Mickens. You and I were talking about that. He's kind of one of those players that we want to see step up in this game, try and make an impact. And he really did not do that in this game.
He definitely didn't. And averaging a double-double, he kind of disappeared this game. He got shut out by guys that are much shorter than him.
Absolutely, and I think those guys may have used, he's not in football season anymore, and the conditioning that football has on these players is very effective. We see some of the players here at Carmel be very conditioned, and some of those players also play basketball here, but none on our team do for Carmel. But Joshua Mickens may have gotten challenged by Sam Orm with that 6'9" frame that he has, while on the other side, it may be very different. Now, another player that I want to highlight that we did not see at all was Kamari Jones. He did not play one single minute in this game. He's a D1 commit and did not play 1 minute. Now, he may also have sat out for this game, knowing that it could have been a blowout to save his legs to play actual D1 basketball. Do you think that may have been the plan?
Most likely, yes.
Most likely, yes. And on that note, Ryan, that has been CHTV. I've been Casey Stevens, and alongside of me has been Ryan Conley. Thank you for listening.